G'day everyone, we're at the trade table and there is a lot to talk about after an incredible 7 days. Peter Ryan and Nathan Schmook are here, and just when you thought there'd be no more surprises in the NAB AFL trade period, another one comes out of nowhere. Crazy times, eh guys?
Brilliant, I love it. It's exciting. The clubs are starting to fight.
Yeah, it's gone up to another level, Matty, with the Bulldogs.
Yeah, it's pretty unprecedented. Let's start with the big story of the moment, and it all centres around the Western Bulldogs. The latest developments, last year's #1 draft pick Tom Boyd putting his name on the trade table to move from the Giants to the Doggies. Now, the Doggies say it could be a straight swap for their skipper Ryan Griffen. The Giants, who really have been given a taste of their own medicine here, say Boyd is going nowhere. So, Nathan, if the two clubs do begin negotiations, and it's a big if at this stage, is Griffen for Boyd a fair deal?
Well, I don't think so, Matty. Very convenient for the Bulldogs to throw that up as an option. I think they need to come to the table with a little bit more. One's a 28-year-old midfielder, one's a 19-year-old key forward who's going to be a gun for the next decade. He'd be perfectly suited at either club.
I don't think it's convenient, Smoogie. I think it's a great piece of rhetoric and a great sign for the Doggies that we're not going to take it lying down. You come and you contact our captain when he's away on leave and you try and poach him. We'll come back and strike at the heart of your planning and we'll get Tom Boyd and chase him hard.
It's a beautiful move, Peter, but he's under contract for another year, so they're going to have to come with something else. I think a valuable pick, maybe a couple more players.
Yeah, well, interestingly enough, Boyd's obviously #1 pick last year, and if the Doggies were able to get an early pick, they could get a quality person like Paddy McCartan, Peter Wright in this trade. So they've gone to get GWS rather than get a tall.
Yep.
All right, watch this space on that one. Another early draft pick on the trade table is Melbourne's Jack Trengove. Richmond wants the former #2 pick overall, of course, and the former Demons captain as well. And the Tigers' pick 12 is the likely trade here. So, Pete, would you rather bet on Trengove reaching his full potential at some point or take a chance on a first-round pick?
Well, I think it's a great deal for both parties, to be honest. I reckon Trengove should go to Richmond. He needs a new start. He needs it right now. And pick 12 is always a risk. Ben Lennon, Richmond got him last year at pick 12, but I'll take you through some of the names. Kane Lucas, Lucas Cook. In recent seasons, Christian Jacks. It hasn't been a great pick. They're all out of those clubs. Trengove's a proven player.
I still see it as a risk, Peter. I think they're doing it on upside with Trengove.
It's a risk.
I think they should back themselves to develop a player at pick 12. I think they're going to get a much better player. That's just a personal opinion.
You're writing off Trengove.
Well, I don't think he's hit the level yet.
Right.
And I don't think he's guaranteed to hit that level either.
Yeah, I reckon that it's a good deal for Melbourne, obviously. I think you're right. But Richmond are risking pick 12, which I am saying is not a particularly huge risk. And therefore, they get an opportunity to get a player and develop with Cochin and Martin and those guys.
Great deal for Trengove, I think, if he moves.
Such a popular player at the Ds as well. It's going to be interesting to see how that part of the story unfolds as well, if indeed it happens. Now, Dane Beams and his request to get to Brisbane has been big news all week, with the Pies and Lions struggling to come to an agreement here. If a deal does get done, it is going to have an impact on Collingwood dramatically. So does losing Beams leave them with a second-rate midfield, do you reckon, Nathan?
I'm not going to say second-rate, Matt. I'm going to say developing midfield. It leaves them with a lot of young players and a lot of responsibility on those young players. I think the fact that they chased Aish as part of this deal, Zorko as well, that says to me that they feel like they're in a bit of strife in the midfield and they're going to be developing.
Well, I think it was almost a disaster when Beams told them they wanted to be traded. It just wasn't part of their plans at all. They managed to get Greenwood in on a big deal for 4 years, so they're obviously been worried. They've got this packet of crisps, Jack Crisp, who's been thrown into the Beams deal to try and get that over the line. They'll have pick 5, where they'll probably get a quality midfielder. The problem Collingwood's got is they haven't had Nathan Freeman, who was their top 10 pick last year, play a game. Taylor Adams they brought into the club. These guys are a couple of years behind.
They're asking a lot of those young players. Pendlebury's going to feel the pinch as well. He loses an inside-outside teammate.
Well, he'll get Greenwood back, but Beams is like a top 20s midfielder. I mean, he's a gun to lose, so definitely worse off.
All right, time up on that one. Now, Geelong looks set to gain Mitch Clark and lose Alan Christensen and Travis Varco. So if all these trades go through as expected, Pete, do you reckon the Cats have improved overall?
I wouldn't say improved. It's an unusual position to Geelong to be in, because generally they're the ones that actually just make everything a winner. So the good thing is they've got Christensen walked out and they managed to get pick 21. So they've got pick 14, pick 21 and Clark. It's not a bad result when you think about it.
Structurally, I think it helps them structurally. Yeah. I think putting Clark in that forward line helps Hawkins. but I don't think there's any guarantee that Clark's going to play good footy. He's been a long time out of the game now.
Yeah.
So that's the big question.
Well, you're right. Christensen's a loss. Varco is temperamental. He probably hasn't played great footy for 2 or 3 years in a consistent level. He's a quality player, but I think Geelong will get the job done. They've got Caddy, they've got Selwood, they've got Guthrie. I mean, they've got a midfield.
I don't think it runs that deep, though, Pete. I think they're going to be lacking a bit of midfield depth next year, and especially that zip.
They're lucky they didn't lose Lonergan to the Bulldogs, and he would have gone definitely if McCartney hadn't got the flick.
All right, in most places, when you put pen to paper and sign a contract, you're bound by it. But these days in footy, it seems contracts are hardly worth the paper they're written on. Nathan, what do you reckon? Does a contract actually mean anything anymore?
It means a lot, Matty. It means there's a timeline for when you throw the big money offers to a player. So if you're coming out of contract 2015, this is the time when the big money offers come. Yep. We've seen that already this trade period. That's all that a contract means these days.
Well, it also gives the Bulldogs president and people like that to say a contract's a contract when a player goes, and gives them something to hold on to. I think that it's a worrying development for the game, because really clubs are making commitments to players over 3 or 4 years. The problem is if you sign, say, Beams for 4 years, then you're foregoing an opportunity to get another player. So the shift will be how the clubs react to it. Maybe they put a lot of players on 1-year deal and 2-year deals, and then they have the megastars or the marquee player on the buddy type deal.
And let's not forget about the coaches, because contracts certainly don't mean anything for coaches.
Well, they don't mean anything, but the players might outwit themselves here, because the clubs won't just take it lying down. They have to have contracts mean something. Has to.
Peter, it was nice of you to bring your contract in just for us to have a look at there. It's a very big figure.
It's huge.
Now, there have been plenty of clubs making big moves. Some, though, have been sitting on their hands pretty much. So let's start with the negative. Pete, who's been the biggest loser, do you think, of the NAB trade period so far?
Well, the obvious one is the Sydney Swans, because let's face it, they've been locked out of the next 2 trade periods. They can't bring any players in. They can lose players and get picks in, but no players in for one of the teams that's been absolutely the leader in trade terms of getting good players in. Gone.
Well, they've missed out on Patfull. I dare say Patfull would have ended up at the Swans if he could. So Sydney Swans
what a winner
next
for GWS. They're suddenly the only destination in Sydney.
GWS.
They're like the Opera House.
Well, I'd say Sydney next year. Next year, Sydney will be the big losers. This year, I think Collingwood. Losing Beams, if that goes through, I think that's a massive loss for Collingwood. Harriet or Lumumba.
It puts pressure on Bucks too. Psychologically, he's lost their second best player. The supporters are a little bit of unrest. What's happening down there? He's sure, Dale Thomas. There's all good reasons for them going, but it just leaves. He's been there 3 years now. It just puts the pressure on.
As we said earlier, it's fast-tracked them into a rebuild as well, Collingwood.
Peter Ryan, the first bloke in history to compare GWS to the Opera House. Fair, didn't you? Let's get some
icons.
Yeah, right. Let's give some credit where credit's due now, Nathan. In your view, the biggest winner of the trade period?
Well, the biggest winner for me, Matty's come from the bottom 4. I think GWS have been terrific. I think they've been really creative. They've certainly been really active. I think they've chased players that can help their 22 next year. So Joel Patfull, he's going to be a really good in for them. And let me just say, I think they're going to hang on to Tom Boyd. That's my gut feel, which makes them a big winner, and that doesn't rule them out of the chase for Ryan Griffen.
Rule the Boyd to Bulldogs out, and you've damaged their chances of getting Boyd right now. Only 3 hours after.
I haven't ruled it out,
A bit of excitement for the Doggies fans, and you've just gone bang.
Well, he's contracted. Not that contracts mean everything.
Well, that would make the Bulldogs the biggest loser if they do lose Griffen and don't get Boyd, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, well, your biggest winner, Peter. Come on.
Sorry, Hawthorn. James Frawley as a free agent. Great effort by the defending premiers, getting a fullback to go slot straight in, and they get John O'Rourke, who was number 2 pick 2 years ago, and they only gave away pick 19 for him. Great effort.
They haven't mucked around Hawthorn.
No, they've done a good job, haven't they? All right, we're almost out of time. Before we go, though, a couple of predictions or things that you're watching over the next few days. Of course, the deadline coming up on Thursday.
Well, Melbourne, if they do get rid of, trade Trengove and get pick 12, they've got 2, 3 and 12, and I'm not sure that they're going to hang on to all those picks, so I'll be watching that closely.
Pick 1 for me, Matty. There's a couple of clubs working feverishly behind the scenes trying to get the picks together to get hold of that. So Christian Petracca, he's a beauty. A lot of clubs are after him.
That's the only time we use that phrase all year, working feverishly. I love it.
It's a trade cliche.
We're all working feverishly.
You're always working feverishly, Peter Ryan. One thing is for certain, the news keeps on coming, doesn't it? AFL.com.au is the destination for everything as it happens. As we said, Thursday is deadline day. We'll have a full wrap, club by club, for you on Thursday. For now, from Peter Ryan and Nathan Schmuck, I'm Matt Thompson. Thanks for watching.